Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Tuesday. As you are listening to the show today, you are clawing your way through another week, but we've got a happy topic and one of my favorite co-hosts on the screen with me today. We are pre-recording our conversation with Justin Kearns from the Winchester-Frederick County Convention and Visitors Bureau. I have gotten so good, Justin, at saying that really fast.
You are fine now. You say it so fast now, people can't hear it anymore. Yeah.
The Winchester-Frederick County Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Thank you so much.
In a radio voice.
There you go. That was very nice. Very suave of you, yes. Hi.
I got to tell you, Justin, I was so excited when you sent me the email and told me who our guest was going to be for the show this week, because this is like all of my favorite things coming together. Having you as my co-host, having the tourism piece of it being talked about, and it's about marketing and image and all of the things that I do in my real life every day. Tell me why you chose to bring Amanda on the show today and who she is and what she's done to help you guys.
All right. Thank you as always. We love the opportunity to be on the show. So thank you for having us. I've got Amanda from Charette, and she's joining us from Virginia Beach, actually. So the magic of Zoom, we might as well take advantage of it while we got it. And she has been with us for, year and a half now, coming up on 2 years probably, working on this ad campaign, this new ad campaign that we just unveiled just a few weeks ago. And we're very excited about it. And I wanted to bring her on because she has such a great and unique voice, since she's been here from the very, very beginning of the conceptualization and the research and the development and the creative side of it. I thought she'd have some cool things to say about how we ended up where we are and how we ended up with the campaign, the way it looks and the way it sounds and feels. And also she has a lot of radio background too, so hopefully she can.
It's already helped me personally before we even started recording.
Like I said, we've been working with Amanda for quite a while now. We've got a great working relationship with her. So Amanda, you go ahead and introduce yourself and say how you ended up here.
Thank you so much for having me, first and foremost, and really excited to be here with you today and talk a little bit about the campaign, which I think you've just been referring to the campaign as the campaign, so I don't know if we've unveiled it yet, but it's Uncommon to the Core. And as Justin mentioned a little while ago, it's been a year and a half, 2 years in the making, all the way from beginning to now. So a lot of work, a lot of time spent getting to this point, and we're really excited to launch it.
Justin, what goes into making the decision that you're going to create a campaign like Uncommon to the Core? And then how do you decide that you're not going to create it yourself or in-house?
Two important questions there. We're a destination marketing organization. We are a DMO. Our job, our primary number one job here at the tourism office of what we do is to market our community, market our area to outsiders who want to come here and hopefully spend a whole lot of money and then go back home again. That's our job. So to do that, we need to have the most effective marketing tools that we can create. And it comes with assets and funding to be able to do this. And we've never really had the funding to be able to do this in the past, to really bring in a group of professionals that will be able to work through this creatively. We were able to redo our budget about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and be able to open up some funds really to tie straight into basically the lodging taxes. So we basically get those. It's not out of general fund or anything primarily. It's just straight out of visitor taxes. So we were able to open that up. We realized that we had a lot in our drive market is a very noisy area. It's very noisy marketing space, if you will. So our drive market really primarily is Northern Virginia, Maryland, DC, up into Harrisburg a little bit, and Pennsylvania. But it's very noisy and it's very expensive to get into that market and make any sort of a splash. And you have to have good professional content to be able to do it. Any more these days, you need to have video, and you need to have strong, professionally, beautifully done video with a point and with a pointed campaign. So we realized all of these things, and we realized that there's no way that we could just do that. It's just me and Renee here in the office, and we're managing the visitor center and doing the website and doing everything else that has to happen here. There's just no way that the two of us could do it. We could manage the process, but we couldn't do it ourselves. So we did a big search out there, and we were very fortunate to bring in one of the biggest, heaviest hitters called BCF. Unfortunately, the pandemic hit, and they already had something going on, and that company had to fold. Basically, they split into two smaller companies, essentially. Two groups of people went in two different directions. And so we stayed with Amanda. Amanda was previously with BCF, and then she started her own company, Charette, out of that. And so she already had everything that they had started on. And then she took all of that and hit the ground running and kept with all of that stuff. So that kind of answers your question. We knew to be able to be effective, we had to have really top-notch assets to be able to place. And we need to have the expertise to be able to do it professionally and intelligently. So that's why we brought in Charette and BCF.
And Amanda, I'm guessing it's not as simple as getting a phone call and Justin saying, hey, we want to hire you to put together an ad campaign. And then you're like, oh yeah, here, let me pull an idea out of my hat and we will apply it to your particular need. Right. That's not at all how creative works.
No, not at all. I wish it were that easy though. It might not have taken a couple of years here. The beginning of the whole process was as easy as a phone call from Justin kind of saying, hey, this is the situation that we're in that he just walked you through. Really would like to find a way to work with you guys. How can that happen? And then after a lengthy sort of purchasing process through the powers that be, we ended up working together. And the entire process really began with us wanting to be able to create this beacon that becomes the brand and the brand platform. And we wanted to get to the heart of the community and the unique value that the community provides to travelers who are visiting the area. And then we wanted to just take that and elevate that story tenfold. And of course, we didn't do this in a vacuum. Throughout the entire brand process, we undertook some extensive research and worked closely with the Winchester Frederick County CVB team, stakeholders there internally, business leaders, different people in the community, just a wide swath of people to really get at the heart of what the destination is and who lives there, what drives the people that live there, and just really what makes the place tick. And through that research, we came to find out that the place just wasn't really getting the credit that it deserves for the amazing, diverse, and varied tourism products and offerings that you've got as a whole. You all were just spending effort and expenses marketing these different fractured collection of experiences instead of really just building one big, powerful brand and proposition in the market. And that's like super fancy, smart marketing speak for just creating a message that really encompasses all of the things that make the place special. And so once we were able to do those interviews and spend time with people who know the place the best because they live there, we were able to really wrap our arms around the soul of the destination. And then after we did that, different destinations, places that offer very similar experiences for people who come to visit those places. We'll call them competitive destinations. So places that are regionally close to Winchester and Frederick County and that have very similar experiences. And once we were able to really research those places and uncover the ways that they are marketing themselves and which audiences they are targeting, we were then able to understand where the holes were and the opportunities that we wanted to really capitalize on for Winchester and Frederick County. And so we took all the learning that we got from our phase 1 engagement of all of the community members in Winchester, Frederick County, and we smashed that together with what we understood to be opportunity space. And at the meeting of those 2 points came the brand idea, which essentially comes back to all of the amazing and uncommon, wink, wink, uncommon experiences that you guys have there in Winchester, Frederick County. I mean, you just don't come to a place like your destination thinking as an outsider that you're going to be able to do so many things and have so many different experiences, whether you're coming with your small children or your older children, or maybe your spouse or significant other, or even just a group of friends. So there's really something for everyone, that old horrible cliche that we like to stay away from in travel and tourism. But there really is here, and it's not what you would think is the best way that we could really describe it. In our meetings and our talks about all of the insights and everything that we noticed about the place when we were creatively trying to come to one brand position, everyone in the room just kept saying, you wouldn't expect that there would be this. You wouldn't expect to meet someone like that. You wouldn't expect to have these sorts of conversations. And then it just hit us, a light switch kind of came on, and it was like, wow, this place is really uncommon in all of the most amazing ways. And then, of course, we had to marry the uncommon nature with what is so, I guess, held close about this community, which is apples, and is also a big draw for a lot of the audience that's coming out of some of the markets that Justin mentioned earlier. And there you have it, uncommon to the core. And that's how we arrived at the brand, essentially. It's a very long-winded way of getting there, but that's how we got there.
And I love it because from a marketing perspective, when I first saw it, I knew immediately. I'm like, oh, I see what they did there. But that's because I have the marketing background, and it's one of those things that you tend to think about. But I love that you can explain how that process happened so that people that live here with us now suddenly get it, and it gives them a new perspective on the things that are right here in their community, not just those people that are coming from all of those surrounding areas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in a lot of the creative for the campaign, we really wanted to embrace that wide swath of experiences that I touched on earlier. So there are different people doing all sorts of different things, all right here in the community in Winchester and Frederick County. And in that creative, we used only local talent. So your friends and your neighbors and people you actually know are featured solely. So it's really fun.
I know the guy on the tractor. I'm just saying. I know the guy. I know the guy on the tractor.
Don't we all?
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Amanda, I'm really curious about your perspective when you made your first trip here and what you saw as a pseudo tourist of sorts. So can we talk a little bit about what your first experience was here, and then give me some of the details for all these other things that those of us that live here can go see and understand and enjoy about our community?
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a good one. Absolutely.
Be back in just a couple of minutes. We are on the screen pre-recording our conversation for Tourism Tuesday, Winchester, Frederick County edition. Justin Kearns, of course, is joining me today as my co-host. Amanda Carter is with us from the Charette Creative Agency. We're going to talk more about their Uncommon to the Core ad campaign. It kicked off a few weeks ago, and we'll tell you how you can go and see all of those pieces when we come back in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a Quick Money Chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday. As you are listening to the show today, we have pre-recorded our conversation with Justin Kearns from the Winchester Frederick County Convention and Visitors Bureau. What is your title exactly? Are you the tourism director? Can I just start saying you are the Winchester Frederick County Tourism Director? Are you the tourism guru? What, can I give you a new title?
The business card says executive director, but I didn't set that. It just, I don't know. They had to call me something.
I think I used to call you way back in the early days. You were my Winchester tourism dude.
Yeah.
I like it.
I answer to pretty much everything, whatever.
We are having a fun conversation today and getting the peek behind the curtain of sorts. Amanda Carter is also on the screen with us. She is with the Charette Creative Agency that was hired a few years ago by the tourism department to put together this Uncommon to the Core ad campaign. And Amanda, Justin alluded to this when we first came on, that you were actually in Virginia Beach as we're recording this.
I
So
am.
you weren't from Winchester. Had you ever been to Winchester when you took on this project?
Only driving through. I will completely admit to you, only driving through.
What was it like when you suddenly you finalized and gone through all the paperwork? And dear Lord, I can't even imagine what kind of governmental red tape and paperwork you had to sort through to get to that point. But what was it like when you finally get in the car and realize I'm coming to Winchester?
We get in the car, we get here much faster than I anticipated. And I should also rewind back and say that, as we were talking about in the earlier segment, we did this research, talked to a lot of people there in the destination, but we also had a lot of experiences. So we took our entire agency team and just worked with Justin ahead of time to put together a list of all the things we need to do, we need to see, experience, touch, taste, take pictures of, all of that. Sort of a snapshot of these are all the things we need to do to understand the, amazingness.
Yeah.
Everything you can imagine was on this list. So we camped out there in the destination for a couple of days. We split into different teams and we together checked off all of these different things that Justin suggested that we should do. And so my team, the first place that we started was actually Bonnie Blue. And we're driving up, and the very first thought was, are we gonna have breakfast at the gas station? What's going on here? And so it was different. I'll say that. Another one of those kind of uncommon things you wouldn't expect, but walked in, and I can still close my eyes today and I can taste the baked apples and the amazingly crispy, thick bacon. And my mouth is watering as I am describing it. It was literally life-changing breakfast. And I'm a simple Southern gal at heart. And so I really enjoy, by far and away over fancy food, I enjoy just amazing, great food. And I feel like Bonnie Blue it filled me up. Not only was my belly full for the rest of the day, but it was like food for my soul. Just felt good. I felt warm leaving there. And that was my very first Winchester Frederick County experience. And I'll tell you that from there, I then went, unfortunately, I wouldn't do this again. I would not recommend it. But I went from a full breakfast at Bonnie Blue to hiking up the Tuscarora Trail. And it was a long hike up there, man.
You did Bonnie Blue after the hike.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't catch that memo ahead of time. I would not do it in that order again. But again, another amazing, breathtaking experience at the top of the trail. When I finally got up there, it was, again, I can close my eyes right now and I can see the view from the top of that trail. And it's so much of our team really latched on to those two experiences, not particularly in that order, and the trail itself, that both of those experiences landed in the final creative for this campaign. That creative really encompasses agritourism, farmers markets, the amazing food, like I just touched on, hiking, biking, horseback riding, wineries, of course, your historic experiences. And so we think we've covered a lot of the things that make the place special.
It's interesting to hear your first impression at Bonnie Blue. We were talking in the break about one of the things we want to make sure we touch on is location data, that you're not necessarily individually tracking everybody.
No.
But I would assume from a marketing perspective that the people that you're targeting that would enjoy and appreciate what Winchester Frederick County has to offer are those people that are coming from a little bit more of a metro area, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for this, I'm not sure I want to have breakfast in a gas station kind of vibe, but that's exactly what they're looking for. They want to
Yep.
be able to go back and say, oh my God, you're never going to believe this, but it was the most amazing breakfast ever. And I don't think sometimes we that live here really look at it from that perspective.
Absolutely. And that's exactly the platform on which the brand itself is built. If we can, touch on again the target audiences that we are hoping to reach and then drive visitation to the destination, geographically, those people are in the Washington, D.C. metro, the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania metro, and much more closer to D.C.'s northern VA, and then, of course, Baltimore rolled in there as well. All of these places, big metropolitan areas, and they've got fancy food. They've got the white tablecloths. And I'm not saying that, of course, not saying that Winchester and Frederick County does it as well, but the experiences that you are going to come here to have are the ones that are exactly the ones that you're going to get at your Bonnie Blue and at Schaefer's. And I really feel like this campaign is right there in that sweet spot. So
let's talk about that for a minute from a target audience perspective, because how do you know who that target audience is and where they're coming from? You're not capturing license plates, for example, as they cross into the county line or into the city of Winchester.
No, and that would take a long time. So we know where they are based upon location data that we are able to grab from the different apps and the different things that they are doing in the digital space. Yes, that's what's happening on their cell phones, their smartphones, but it's also inclusive of what they are doing online, where their IP addresses are, their smart connected TVs. All of these different digital devices that now run our lives give us the information that we need to be able to serve you the ad experiences that are most relevant to you. If you're a guy in your mid 40s and you really enjoy hiking and biking, they help you not to get ads for baby diapers that you may not need.
Well, that's what we joked about during the break, because I don't mind the ads as long as they're ads for something I might remotely be interested in.
Absolutely.
And I think the other piece of this is that sometimes the greater audience doesn't understand that doesn't have names, addresses, and email addresses attached to it. So when you're looking at this data, it doesn't say, here's Janet Michael, and here are all the places that she's gone and all of the things that she's bought. You can't track it that minutely. It is a very generic type tracking.
Absolutely. We only know for sure your age, your gender, and your general geographic location. And then we have an idea of some of the types of interests that you have. Again, for the mid 40s male, we know he's an outdoor enthusiast because he frequents REI and he's buying hiking boots and searching for different kinds of things having to do with outdoor experiences online. So those are the types of things that we know, and that's all we know. To your point, we don't necessarily know, exactly your name, social security number, and addresses, but we know enough to be able to reach the people that we're trying to reach, exactly the sort of people that we want to drive to visit the destination.
It lets us spend the resources that we have much more intelligently. Absolutely. And not waste these public dollars. We're not just the good old spray and pray, if you will. Spend a whole bunch of money and hope that the people that we want to see the stuff sees the stuff. And
yeah, I talk to a lot of my Java Media clients about knowing your customer, because if you know who, at least from that avatar type, it's a male or female, it's in this age group with this much maybe education, and here's some of their common hobbies, it really gives you that better sense of, is this particular customer of mine, for example, do they read the newspaper? Are they using Facebook or are they using Instagram? Because you're going to know then where to put these marketing materials that you've created for Uncommon to the Core so that they reach the people that will actually look at that and go, oh my gosh, I want to go there.
So that when you spend that $100, 95 or 90 of it is very effective versus before, with just a general, and I'm not speaking negatively of magazines, there's some great avenues for magazines, but the problem with the larger, more general magazines like National Geographic or something, we just don't know. Like, we have no idea. There's tons of people that we're reaching that we just don't need to reach, that are not going to convert. So in the digital space, it lets us be very effective with that, whatever, $100 or whatever it is that you're spending, you can be very effective with it.
Yes.
So it's nice. It's nice to be able to do that.
Definitely allows you to realize a greater return on your marketing investment. And this campaign and the associated media plan is very targeted.
So Justin, where can people go to see some of the pieces that we've been talking about? The video, for example, the campaign, where can people see that are listening right now?
Now, if you have all of your devices set up correctly and you live in the Winchester area, you shouldn't be being served these ads, because we're not spending the money here in the local audience. We're spending them in our drive audiences. So you have to find them a different way. You can go to our website, just visit winchesterva.com, and we have some of the videos up there, the Uncommon videos up there. There's a whole mess of creative behind this that you're probably just not going to see, because it is placed, there's out of home stuff like billboards, there are magazine slicks, there's digital ads, there's all sorts of stuff that we just don't have sitting around in one place. It's out in the marketplace. But the videos are the strongest, biggest component of this, and we will have those on our website.
And that's important to note. What you're saying too is, and I get this a lot from clients, how come I never see the ads that I post or I boost on Facebook, for example? And I always say, because I'm not targeting you. You're already here. Your customer is coming from 60 miles away, right? Or we're targeting women. You are not one of them. So therefore, you are not going to see some of these ads. Don't think that means that you're not doing it. It's just that you're not in that target audience.
That's one of the toughest discussions we have with local stakeholders and local elected officials is, well, we don't see your ads. You're not supposed to. That means we're doing our job. You're not supposed to see our ads. They're going into who they're supposed to go into, and not you, because you're not going to convert to come to Winchester because you live in Winchester. Exactly. It doesn't mean
it would be great for people that are listening to this to go watch those videos, because I feel like it's going to give them a new appreciation for the community that they do live in. And no matter how long we've all lived here, and I was born and raised here in Frederick County, there is always something that I forgot, or that is new, or that maybe I didn't like or appreciate in my 20s, that now in my 30s, I might think is amazing. Rediscovering your own community is great. And you can do that if you want to do it through your website.
Yes. And we hope that when people see this campaign, when people who grew up here and who live here see this campaign, we hope that they feel some pride when they see it, and they feel some ownership of it, because then we've hit the mark. It's impossible to make everybody happy all the time with creative, because everybody has a different creative vision. But overall,
or no creative vision, but that's a whole nother show.
We hope that when people see this, we've gotten very strong responses, and they've been very positive of, wow, this is my community. I'm so proud. I've never seen my community conveyed this
represented in this way. I'll tell you just real quick. I know we're coming up close to time here, but for us, the creative that you'll hopefully go to the website and check out, it places an emphasis on some of the strongest tourism offerings there in the destination, yes. But really, there's a very clear and compelling emphasis on people, the people of the community. And the core idea that sits at the heart of this brand is really, it's belonging, and it's the sense of community, which is such powerful human territory. And it's the truth of who you are, almost like your little gift to the world. And it's incredibly unique. And I'm honored to have been able to help bring it to life.
It's been fun.
What better way to wrap up than with that lovely sentiment? Thank you, Amanda.
Yes.
Justin, Amanda, thank you both for taking some time out of your day to have this conversation. Justin has to. He doesn't really have a choice. But Amanda, I appreciate your time this morning sitting with me on the Zoom screen.
Thank you for having me.
I will be back tomorrow. I'll have a brand new episode of The Valley Today ready to go for you a few minutes after noon. So meet me here then.